Hi, my name is Brad Malenich, and for my project I researched how robots are taking away human jobs. One of the major factors that has contributed to robots taking away human jobs is the increase of new technology. 1.1 million jobs between 2000 and 2010 in the United States alone have been lost. Um, One of the big job kind of categories that has been impacted is travel agents. Travel agents are kind of almost irrelevant at this point, with so many websites that humans can go to research trips and even book their own trips. Um, with the technology, it kind of cuts out the middleman of a travel agent when someone can easily go to Orbitz or Travelocity themselves and book it right there, and it's much easier and much more convenient for them, and even at a better price. One of the future categories that I think is going to be really impacted over time is going to be the transportation industry. Not only with the Google driverless car in the works right now, but even electronic cars, I think, and hybrid cars are going to start to become more prominent, and we're going to see less and less use of gas. And I think that with the Google technology and the driverless car, it's going to affect a lot of truck drivers, and it's definitely going to affect the shipping industry. Even with that, I know drones are starting to become bigger. Amazon is proposing a new shipping program with drones, so that's going to cut out a lot of jobs right there with the UPS and the U.S. Postal Service. So I think that's a category that isn't really affected right now to say, even though it's slowly starting to be affected. But in the future, I think maybe 20, 25 years, it's going to be a category that's really going to be affected. Some of the jobs that are currently already at risk are obviously factory workers. I think that one has been the one that's really hit hard, especially in the automobile industry. Now most car factories are being made by robots, and they're really putting humans out to work. And I know when I was doing some research, I found out that paralegals and lawyers were also at risk, which I really didn't think so until I read more about it, and how there's a software that can scan documents and kind of help analyze the case a little bit better. Which obviously, if you can have a machine do that rather than a human, it's going to be way more productive. Also, I think that pharmacists definitely are in risk as well, because you can program a robot to package and dispense medicine pretty easily. I know a couple hospitals are already doing it out in San Francisco, but I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to accept and almost program the answers to the consumer's questions when they go pick up the medicine. So that will be tough. So I don't know if that will fully take over the pharmacist's jobs. And another one is pilots as well. I know there are some humanoid robots in South Korea that have been trying to fly commercial planes. That one, I'm not really sure if it's going to be accepted or not, just because flying a commercial plane is a huge risk, and I don't think society is ready to accept a humanoid robot flying a commercial plane. Even with robots taking away human jobs, there still are quite a bit of pros to having a robot in the workforce. First of all, they're going to be cheaper over time than paying a human. They're super strong, and they can last longer than a human, and they can work many more hours. They're more precise than a human as well, and they have the ability to work in dangerous conditions, something that a human might not be able to do. But having that being said, there are still some cons to having robots. Obviously, they pretty much help tank our economy with taking away tons of jobs. Another thing is that they're good at doing specific jobs, but it's hard for them to change. And for order them to change, whoever is operating the robot or is programming it has to reprogram it all over again to learn something new and different. Also, the initial investment cost of a robot can be very expensive, and some businesses might not have the money to fork over for one of these robots. I don't think some of these robots can even go up to 50,000, and especially small businesses, they might not have that money right now to put up front. I think that with robots taking away human jobs, it has more of an impact on society than just taking away their job physically. If you think about it, when people are out of work, they're going to have more time on their hands. They're not going to know what to do with themselves. Even kids and teenagers, they might not be able to get a job when they're in high school. So who knows what they're going to be doing? That could even lead to more drug and alcohol problems. But I think that as robots become more acceptable and more embedded into society, that in universities robotics will be studied more, because we're going to need people to know how to build and advance the robot. And obviously that's going to be a new trade and a new trend that people are going to need to know, and it will be a big industry. But I think that it's really going to catch on, because we're going to need to have those people who are going to know how to build it in order to advance society.